Hi everyone, welcome back to Creative Witchy Mama. A warm welcome to those that are new tuning in here, and thank you so much for those that are returning for a little bit more content from me. Honestly, I'm so grateful for everybody tuning in, and I know I bang on about it like every single video, but I truly am. And if you haven't done already, I would love it if you did hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you do know when I'm updating some new content. It really helps me, the channel, it helps me get to know you, helps me understand what sort of content you like, and it helps the channel grow, which is great because then I'm hoping that through it growing that more and more people can hear about the things that I like to talk about, and hopefully some things help other people. That's all I really want. So look, today I actually want to talk about something a little bit different to what I've spoken about in some previous videos. However, it is something that's really close to my heart, and it's spending money in cash. Okay, so just stay with me, guys, stay with me. I am what I would like to proclaim as a freedom fighter or an awake person. For a very long time now, I have used cash as my predominant mode of spending money. Now, I've done this for so many reasons, and today it actually just solidified to me because I keep seeing this one thing over and over and over again. It solidifies to me that we need to keep on spending cash. We need to pull cash out of the ATM, out of the bank. We need to have it in our purse, in our wallet, in our bags, wherever, because the banks are getting filthy rich off you and me, right? Today I went and bought a coffee. So I took H swimming. I went and bought a coffee afterwards. Now, before I even had chance to pull my cash out of my purse, the lady behind the till had already set up the EFTPOS machine because they already think that people are going to use contactless, their card or their phone or whatever to pay. And there's a surcharge, right? So I pulled out my cash. Oh, okay, so sorry, cash. And then took off the surcharge and charged me what I needed to be charged. Places are putting these surcharges on. Now, it was only like 1.5% or something crazy, right? Very small amount. But you imagine everything you're buying, you're paying a surcharge on. Why? Why are you paying a surcharge? Now, it's because the businesses have passed these surcharges on because they're getting charged them from the bank. All that's winning here is the banks. That's it. Okay, it's convenient to use your phone. It's convenient to use your card. And look, I've been in that situation not so long ago that I did have to rely on using my phone. And I think it was the first time I've ever used it as like a tap and go because I actually forgot to take my purse with me. I went to the butcher and I completely forgot my purse. I must have taken it out of my bag. So I had no cash, no cards, no nothing. And I was like, oh no, is my card even on my phone? Because I didn't think it was, but it was. So I used it. And it was the first time. So look, I'm not saying there's not a purpose for it, right? And I don't, I think it's a great tool if and when you need it. But we need to get out of the mindset of just constantly using contactless payment because we are being ripped off left, right, and center, right? Everything you purchase, if there's a surcharge on it, you're paying for it. And you don't even know because most of the places don't even tell you. Or they might have a tiny little sign like this. I think there was literally the sign at the cafe today was like this big. It was tiny. And so they're not even really telling you or you're not taking any notice. And the thing is, you know what? Like I said, 1.5% on a coffee is nothing, right? But if you're being charged that 1.5% or some places even more, you are getting ripped off. We are getting ripped off. To all the businesses that are charging these surcharges, I get it, right? I understand. I'm a small business owner myself. I don't put surcharges on. I carry that cost myself because I don't think it's fair to pass it on to the consumer. And I don't think it's fair for them to pass it on to the consumer either. So I think that is like number one. Number one, the banks are getting filthy rich from us paying all these little snippets of surcharges, because guess what? The owners of these businesses are just passing on what they're having to pay, right? So, they're just making so much money. And I'm not talking about the small businesses, I'm talking about the banks. The banks are disgustingly rich, okay? We need to stop lining their pockets with more and more money, right? That's number one. Number two, which is the thing that I've been probably the most close to my heart, is that I don't want everybody tracking every single move that I'm making and me getting targeted for marketing, for what I spend my money on, for, the purchases that I make. Why does anybody else need to know that? They don't. And the only reason why they do is A, to profit from it, and B, for surveillance, right? So they can see exactly what you're doing all of the time. And then they can target you to make more money from you. Oh, the amount of places that are, taking your details and selling them on to third parties. If people actually just woke up and understood what this was all about, you would all be spending cash, right? Then I understand for people, it's hard to get money out of the ATM. There's less and less ATMs. I get it. I do. I understand, right? I try and make a point of it at least once a week to go and take cash out. Or when I know I've got a big chunk of money in the bank, I'll go and take it out, and then I just have it at home and I use that money to be able to spend, right? Because why? I don't want to keep on making everybody else dirty rich. It's ridiculous, I'm having to watch my money and things like that. Why am I lining the pockets of somebody else? All right. So that is like my rant today about cash. I think we just forget how much freedom cash gives us, right? And look, it could be cash, it could be any other kind of currency, right? Because I don't really believe in the fiat system either, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother system, and a whole nother video, and a whole new train of thought as well. But I think whatever we're using, we just need to realize that what we're doing every time we use the card, every time we use the phone, we're actually paying more for what we want. When you pay, there's always this thing that floats around on Instagram and probably TikTok and things like that. Like a $50 note will always remain $50. If you are spending that, so if I take it to the butcher, then the butcher takes it to the barber, and the barber takes it to the grocer, that $50 will remain $50 always, okay? It doesn't change. But if you've got $50 in your bank and you're just tap and going, that $50 does not remain $50. You are being ripped off left, right, and center. So that is it. That is my rant over for today. And my encouragement to everybody just to use a bit of cash and be mindful about, who you're giving money to. Because when the small businesses or any other businesses that have got surcharges on them, they're not pocketing that money, okay? That money is going to banks, yeah? They are just passing on. Now, they might take a little bit for themselves. You know what? Their business, right? I get it. But most of that money is going to the big banks. We need to stop lining the pockets of the big banks. Go out of our way a little bit. Take some cash out of the ATM, like the olden days. And give cash, because that cash doesn't change value. Yeah. I feel so strongly about this, and you can really probably see and feel my passion, but I feel really strongly that we need to be doing this because we are just getting constantly ripped off. That is my final thought on it. Tell me your thoughts. Do you have, an argument against this? Like, I would love to know. Obviously I feel very strongly about this, but you might not. And you might have a very good reason to not feel this way. Tell me. If you have any other comments, please drop them below. I'd love to hear what you say, and I will try and come back to you as quickly as I can. If you are loving this content as much as I am loving sharing it, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you do know when I am uploading some new content. Like today, it's very different. So thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.